Hello everybody and welcome to Gene's Reviews from just a regular dude, where I do movie reviews, trailer reactions, I react to YouTube videos, I review YouTube channels, and I basically just do whatever the hell I want. Today I'm doing one, and I was suggested this a long time ago by The Shape, and then someone else brought it up again the other day. I think it was the Crow. You're the one that told me about it again, mentioned it. And this is Missing 411 and its theories on people that have come up missing in national parks, stuff like that. So, get my headphones on and we'll check this out right now. It's from Michael Scott, paranormal investigator.
Deployed yesterday to search hiking trails.
Is growing this morning for a Huntington Beach woman who disappeared at an Inyo County campground.
Tonight, Yosemite officials are searching for a missing teenager.
Dropping an urgent search is underway for an Oakland man reported missing in Yosemite National Park.
Breaking news tonight, a tragic ending to a story we've been following all day in the gorge.
An exhaustive search for a missing hiker in the Smokies. The rough terrain and changing weather ends tragically.
So missing 411, let me tell you, right off the bat, I'm not an expert in this subject at all. It's just something that I have recently gotten into and find very, very interesting, and not necessarily for the missing persons aspect of it. I really do feel for the families and the people that have gone missing in these national parks, but the part that draws me into this is the paranormal aspect of it. And I'm going to back up in just a second because I realize some people may have no idea what I'm talking about when I say missing 411, so we're going to get into it. So there's a man named David Paulides, and he is kind of like the forerunner, kind of almost like expert in this subject or topic. He has started a series of books called Missing 411, which deals with the large amount of people that go missing within our national forests.
Butchers dropping an urgent search is underway for an Oakland man reported missing in Yosemite National Park.
We were notified this morning the vehicle was still here. The dogs were at the vehicle. It really probably clued us in that we were dealing with something more than just a lost person.
Well, concern is growing this morning for a Huntington Beach woman who disappeared at an Inyo County campground 3 days ago.
So the weird thing about these people going missing in these national forests is that it's a large amount of people, and a lot of them just simply vanish without a trace. And by without a trace,
they just disappear and
they go missing.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's when they're with other people and they just disappear while they're with the group. They kind of wander off just a little bit, not far, and then they're gone. And when search parties
and they go back to where they were and there's no trace.
There's no tracks. The scent dogs can't pick up a scent. It's like these people just vanish. Now I recognize that there can be a lot of normal reasons for people to go missing, or sometimes they're not normal, sometimes they're still scary, but they're not
like
paranormal
that,
in
I
nature.
don't
And I want to go through those real quick first, and then we're going to talk about some of the reasons that I think that this could be paranormal in nature and what type of paranormal events could be happening. So some of the more natural theories for this are that people just simply get lost. They wander off, they don't know where they are, and they can't find a way back.
And I don't think it's paranormal as much as it's maybe aliens. That would be more plausible to me.
I know what you're thinking. Come on, Gene, little green man.
I do believe that there's got to be other life out there besides just us, and it sounds more like that, aliens to me. And maybe aliens and paranormal is all connected somehow too. It's just a thought.
Another one is animal attacks. When you're in a national forest, there is a lot of wildlife around you and a lot of animals that could attack and drag you off as their prey.
A deadly animal encounter. 2 mountain bikers attacked by a...
But if they did that, there would be tracks. There'd still be tracks. These people are vanishing without a trace at all. They're just gone. So, unless they can fly, how's it happening?
Cougar, one of them did not survive.
So that could be one explanation why people go missing very quickly and are not found again. But my way of thinking is if it were an animal, there would be traces of a struggle or of some sort. There would be some blood left behind or articles of clothing, footprints or drag marks where the animal drags the person away. And a lot of times, there are no traces. Another theory out there is that it could be a serial killer. That's why these people vanish and are never heard from.
Could still be tracks.
Some people think it could be cannibals, a group of people out in these forests that feed on other people. But my favorite theories of all these are the paranormal theories, which we're going to get into in just a second. But before we do, I want to tell you about one of the people that had gone missing but then returned, because I think it's a very, very interesting story, and I think after I tell it, it'll leave you with some questions and will lead nicely into the paranormal theories and why I think it's paranormal in nature, what is happening in the National Forest. So in February of 1977, a 24-year-old man named Stephen Kubacki was cross-country skiing near Lake Michigan. While he was out that day, he decided to take a little break near the edge of the water of Lake Michigan. After resting for a little bit by the lake, Stephen got up to leave, but when he turned around, he noticed that his trails leading up to the lake were now missing. He tried to find his way back out of the woods, but he didn't have his trails to retrace his steps, so he ended up getting lost, and the last thing that he remembers is feeling numb and very weak. The next thing Stephen remembers is waking up in a field in the middle of the woods.
Take me to your leader.
Now springtime. He manages to find his way out of the woods and into the nearest town, where he finds out he is now in Massachusetts, which is over 700 miles away from where he went missing. You want to hear something else strange about this case? From the time that Stephen disappeared to the time that he wandered into that town, 14 months had passed. He had been gone for over a year, but he doesn't remember anything that happened or how he got from one location to the other, over 700 miles apart. So the story gets even more interesting because when the search...
See, that's why I think it's aliens or something like that. I mean, that, to me, it makes the most sense that it would be aliens. And I guess they just decided they didn't want him, so they put him back.
I guess they weren't taught to put things back where you got them.
Party went out when Stephen first went missing. They said that they followed his trails to the lake where he went missing, but there were no trails leading away from the lake, which is very strange because if you remember, Stephen said when he got up from the lake after resting, he turned around to leave and his trails weren't there anymore, and that's why he got lost, because he couldn't follow his trails back out. But when the search party went out there, they said that his trails were leading up to the lake, but no trails leading away. So what happened? Why did the search party find trails leading to the lake but not leading away? And how come when Stephen went to leave, how come he didn't see his trails from where he had come from? Now to me, this sounds like alien abduction. And that is one of the theories of what happens in the National Forest, is that a lot of people get
And I think the two were intertwined.
Out there. I mean, think of the case with Travis Walton. It was almost the same thing. I don't think he was gone for that much time, but when Travis Walton was abducted, he was abducted within a national forest and he returned days later. That could explain why there were no trails leading away from the lake. Maybe he...
And for those of you who don't know, Travis Dalton is the one that they made the movie.
Walton, not Dalton.
Fire in the Sky about. It had trying to think of his name. I think it was D.B. Sweeney was the actor's name that starred in that movie. And it's the story about Travis Walton. He was a logger and he worked with all these other guys, and they were going out in the forest basically, and they saw the bright light and he went to it and they took him. And then he ended up like naked in a phone booth days later, and he had no memory of what happened or anything. It's crazy shit.
He was abducted at the lake and just had these false memories of him walking away. I'm not too sure. Another paranormal theory is that people are wandering into like a wormhole almost. People unknowingly walk into the entrance of the wormhole, and when they come out, they're in a completely different area, many, many miles away from where they started. Some people think it may be some sort of time slip. People walk into an area and they're transported from one period of time to another within a second, and so they don't age, but everybody else around them does. Another interesting theory is that it is because of Bigfoot abductions. So think about it. What is one creature that's always been seen?
But there'd still be tracks, and there'd be something.
Bigfoot. But what is one creature that we have very little evidence of existing? Bigfoot. Now, all these people that go missing in national forests, a lot of times there's no traces of them going missing. Like there's nothing left behind, nothing to trace, no way for people to find them. How could they go missing like that without being taken by something that knows how not to leave traces? So in the beginning, I told you about David Paulides, and he is kind of like the leading expert on this, and he's written a lot of books about these cases. He recently came out with a documentary, which I watched, which was really, really fascinating. And in that documentary, they were out in the middle of the woods, and they captured these very, very abnormal and kind of frightening sounds that some people think are Bigfoot calls. Unfortunately, I'm not going to put that in here because I don't want a copyright strike or anything like that, but I urge you, if you haven't seen it, search the documentary Missing 411. I know it's on iTunes. I don't know what else it's on. I think it's even maybe on Netflix. I'm not sure, but it is super fascinating, and I think you guys will really, really enjoy it. Like I said, I'm not an expert on this subject, but I do find it very fascinating.
It is pretty cool.
Especially the paranormal aspects.
Scary.
Could it be alien abductions? Could it be some type of wormhole? Could it be a time slip? Or could it even be Bigfoot abductions?
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea what it would be other than, like, pretty much I agree with everything he said. I don't think it's Bigfoot. That just doesn't make any sense to me. I think it's an alien abduction is the most plausible thing to me. And I think that alien life and the paranormal might intertwine with each other. They might, be pretty much the same thing. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. That was Michael Scott, paranormal investigator. Strange disappearances in national parks, missing 411 theories. Okay, time for the joke of the day. I used to be scared of pretty girls, but then one confessed that they're just as scared of me. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, hashtag Mean Gene, all that fun stuff. And I will see you next time.